Good evening and a very, very warm welcome to you wherever you may be. Thank you for joining us here on DinamoTV. Guess what, folks? It's our 50th episode. Yes, we've reached a major milestone now, our 12th episode in 2025. And last year, we had a grand total of 38 episodes. So it's been an absolute pleasure being your host throughout that time. My name's Tonchi Prusats, and on tonight's Silver Jubilee episode, if you like, we've got some very, very special guests. We've got a blast from the past who's looking into the future. Our very special guest tonight is former President Danny Utrisha, who, by the way, is following in his father's footsteps. We had Mario on last week. But Danny will be talking about, well, what won't he be talking about? He'll be talking about the project of collating material for a book on Dinamo's 50th anniversary, which will be due out later this year. He'll be talking about the 50th anniversary Gala Ball in July, and he'll also be talking about the upcoming Dinamo Zagreb camp that's going to be held from the 7th to the 11th of July, leading up to that Gala anniversary. And for something different, we are a community club. We're very known and renowned and very proud to be a Croatian community club. But we're also a club that's involved in the wider community and the so-called mainstream community here in Melbourne's West. And tonight, we've got a very, very special guest, a young, talented young lady who is very intelligent and very good at what she does. She's a karate world champion, and Dinamo sponsor this young lady, and her name is Alessandra Desar. So she'll be joining us a little bit later on in the show. Huge show, folks. Strap yourself in for the next 45 minutes or so, and we're going to kick it off with the news desk straight after this short break from our major sponsor, the I&D Group. Don't go away. It's DinamoTV episode 50 that you are watching.
The I&D Group is regarded as one of the largest deliverers of concrete structure solutions in Victoria. Formed in 1994 by Ivan and Kathy Filipovic, their passion and commitment to getting the job done safely and economically has underpinned their success in the industry. I&D partners with large-scale building and construction companies in both the private and public sectors on projects large and small. With our corporate headquarters based in South Melbourne and storage yard based in the southeast suburbs, we have at our disposal thousands of square metres of quality materials, along with state-of-the-art lifting and crane equipment, enabling us to deliver the largest projects. We are committed to delivering high-quality projects by partnering with our clients and collaborating with project suppliers to ensure each job is delivered to exceed expectations. From humble beginnings, I&D now employs more than 1,200 dedicated professional and support staff, involved in a number of landmark projects right across Victoria. The I&D Group is a massive supporter of the Croatian community, backed soccer clubs in Victoria, and is proud to be the major sponsor of the St Albans Dinamo Football Club in 2024.
Welcome back to DinamoTV, and it is time for the news desk. And boy, lots happening at the moment on the field. Unfortunately, not so many good things happening, but nonetheless, we'll get into it straight away. So let's start off immediately with the highlights from Monday night's game when Dinamo travelled to the home of the Matildas to take on the Melbourne Victory in NPL Victoria Round 9. Your commentator is Neil Simons.
Week for St Albans. Dinamo, they've had a very topsy-turvy campaign. Wins against South Melbourne have kept themselves in the offing and in the running under head coach Cam Watson, but tonight would be a real sign of intent if they can get one up over the Melbourne Victory NPL side tonight. Sitting 8th currently in the NPL Victoria, a win tonight would see them into the top 6. Now towards that right hand, Summer Skill. Joey Monek. And Victory are mounting the press. They win it back. Lazarevsky. Can he break inside? Effectively so! And Daniel Lazarevsky opens the scoring for the Bucks. Impeccable work from the Pascavel Jr. Lean swinging delivery to the back stick. Oh, it's in! Tricky mix. Mikkel Platt. He's been waiting for that one, and Dynamo square the ledger against Daniel Graskowski. And a yellow card as well for Parker Williams. Well, just as you thought this game would be seen through by the home side, Dynamo with a pivotal opportunity to square things. Gulevsky dispatches. He's a dynamite Ryo as well, another St. Albans youth product, and has done the deed over many years. This is going to be a dynamite battle in these last 15 minutes of regulation time. Do not adjust your TV sets, iPad, iPhone, whatever it may be. Lucas Burns making way. So too. And down that left-hand side, Victory with plenty of numbers forward. Hoey across the box. It's Hoey! Oh, it's fantastic! Jordan Hoey with an instant impact off the bench. That might just be about it. An impeccable performance from the Melbourne Victory young boys. Three points for the Young Bucks. Impeccable from Boris Soroshin's side.
Yes, a good performance by Melbourne Victory. Unfortunately, not the result that we, Dynamo, wanted. Having a look at the results there of round 9. Seemed to me it wasn't a good night for any of the Croatian community-backed clubs. Melbourne Knights losing to Preston 1-0 in front of a big crowd at Tomset Stadium. The match of the round, Dandy City going down to ladder leaders Avondale FC 3-0. And although our Dinamovci did put up a fight, we went down 3-2 to Melbourne Victory. We find ourselves there in 9th position on the competition standings with 10 points. Well, all of our attention now turns to this weekend's game against Green Gully on Sunday, 3 p.m. kickoff. A vital game. We really, really need this win. So it's a round 10 fixture that is basically nothing less than the 3 points is required, is needed, is wanted. So I urge all Dynamo fans to get down to Churchill Reserve this coming Sunday to support the boys and help them bring home the 3 points. If we have a look at the wrap-up, it was a disappointing weekend for all of our teams. The under-23s, well, let's just say they lost 7-0 to Melbourne Victory. That's all we need to talk about. The under-19s did probably the best out of everyone. They didn't they didn't lose. Well, that's because they didn't play. The 14s lost against Avondale FC in the Junior Boys NPL. The 15s lost. The 16s lost. But good on the 17s, they managed to draw. Moving along now, on the weekend, however, our young lasses did very, very well in the Dandy City Cup. And well done to the girls there who did such a good job. I think it was, if we can just recap, the under-14s and the under-16s came away winners. Congratulations. They were crowned champions at the Dandy Cup. the under-9s walked away as runners-up. There's the under-9s, so well done to them. Congratulations on a great result there to those teams. So congratulations to all our coaches, our players, and everyone that was involved, especially to the parents, and especially to our sister club, Dandy City, for putting on a fantastic tournament. Well done to them. This weekend we've got the I&D Cup, the annual pre-season event that brings together all the Croatian community-backed clubs' junior teams. It's going to be a massive day this Saturday. Games will be held from 8:30 all the way till 5:30 p.m. in the evening. The bar and kitchen will be open throughout the day. And immediately following the I&D Gala Day, the senior women's will have a practice match. At time of going to air, we did not know who that opponent is, but that's being finalised in the next couple of days. But our senior women will be strutting their stuff at Churchill Reserve this Saturday night. So we welcome all the Croatian community-backed clubs, Dandenong City, of course, Melbourne Knights, North Geelong Warriors, and Strathmore Split. It's going to be a huge day and a big shout out to all of our volunteers, all the parents that are helping out in any way to either prepare the pitches, to referee, to help clean up afterwards, those working in the bar, in the kitchen. It is going to be indeed a massive day. We hope to have Christian Dorlich on next week's show, who's going to give us a bit of a recap and talk about how the I&D Gala Day went. Mother's Day is coming up, folks, very soon, next month, early next month. And on Thursday, the 8th of May, we will have our traditional Mother's Day buffet night from 7 o'clock. Tickets are adults $35, kids under the age of 16, $20, and kids under the age of 10, just $13. Message Anna on 0401505100 to book. Bookings are essential. And we'll leave that up there on the screen for a little bit longer so you can get all of those details. So yeah, dads, kids, shout your mum to a wonderful night out at Dinamo on Thursday, the 8th of May, for the Mother's Day buffet night. Moving along, we're going to now take a look at our gala night. Speaking of big nights, the 50th anniversary gala night. That's on Saturday, the 12th of July at the Croatian Catholic Centre. Already, hundreds of tickets have been sold. There is a limit as to how many tickets we can sell. The big draw card that evening will be our MC, Mariana Rudan, who will be joining our very own Ante Smolic, entertainment provided by Major Minor. And Ivan Novosel from the Zaprešić Boys will be in attendance. And the Zaprešić Boys, during the week, actually released their latest single, Frižider pun piva, fridge full of beer, something a little bit different to what they normally do. Jump on YouTube, go to Zaprešić Boys, and you'll be able to see it. Also, our special guests of honour will be the Dinamo Zagreb Youth Academy coaches, who will be taking part in the Dinamo Zagreb camp earlier that week from the 7th to the 11th of July at Churchill Reserve. All the information is there over 5 days. Each day will include 1.5 hour training sessions, an hour of educational sessions as well as a nutritious lunch. So it is a 5-day camp, and all participants will receive training kits, 2 in fact, a certificate of recognition, engaging interactive workshops, and also the potential to be invited to Dinamo Zagreb's junior program in Zagreb itself. Costs you just $500, but places are limited, and all that information is there on the screen for you. That, folks, brings us up to the end of the news desk. We're going to take a short commercial break. When we return, it's time for our very, very first guest, former president, and he's a member of the Gala Organising Committee, Danny Jutrisha, will be joining us shortly. Don't go away. It's the DinamoTV show that you are watching. welcome to DinamoTV. Welcome back to DinamoTV, and it's time now for our first guest of the evening. And he's a former club president, and what else hasn't he done? And he is following in his father's footsteps, because last week we had his father, Mario Jutrisha, on DinamoTV, and guess what? Who else would it be but Danny Jutrisha? Yeah. He joins us on the show on DinamoTV. Danny, always a pleasure to have you on the show. How are you?
I'm fantastic. Thanks, Saunchy. How are you, mate?
Mate, very, very good, very good. Lots happening, and as we sort of inch into the month of April, I guess that means one thing: we're getting closer and closer to the gala anniversary in July. But before then, let's talk about a few things. But there's a lot's happening. But let's talk about the memorabilia book or memorabilia appeal for the book, mate. Where do you start with a project like this? Tell us what's happening with this as far as the collection of material for the 50th anniversary book is concerned.
Yeah, well, it's been a little bit of a process. We first started off trying to understand what we want to do with this book. You know, a bit about the history, a bit about players, coaches, any accolades, past Croatian tournaments, what we've done as a club. You know, a bit about juniors, Dinamo Football Group, and all sorts of things like that. And, you know, people that have been major parts of the club and, you know, and that have done, you know, a lot to get to the club where it's at the moment. So that's what we sort of started with. And then through that process, we said, all right, well, we therefore need to look at whether or not we can get some memorabilia or, you know, more information from people. So that memorabilia call is out there just to see what people have from whether they've got any junior tops that they've had in the past, long time ago, or senior tops, or, you know, pictures or anything like that, or accolades that they want to share with the club, so that we can, you know, take some photos of it and, you know, make this book, you know, stand out a bit more.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, where do you start? It's such a massive job. And I think we had Rosie Marmich on a couple of weeks ago, and she said Steve Static, for example, former club photographer, he's got something like, 1,000 and some, was it 13,000 photos or something, some ridiculous amount. Now, it's physically impossible to go and sort out through every single one of these photos and bits of memorabilia. So do you kind of know what you're looking for? Do you kind of just kind of searching for that, I don't know, elusive photo from a particular era, or are you actually literally just sifting through and seeing what you've got?
Well, I think it's a bit of everything, really. I mean, you start, yeah, you've got like that ingredients that you're sort of looking for in terms of what you're after, as I mentioned before, you know, about the history and that kind of stuff, and, you know, over the decades, and then you sort of say, all right, well, what have people got? And, you know, inevitably you're going to come across something, and I mean, we're hoping that inevitably we come across something that we don't even, you know, we haven't even thought about that.
Yeah.
Stands out. We go, wow, this is bloody fantastic, and, you know, so yeah, and as you mentioned, Steve's got, you know, Steve Static has been a part of the club for a long time. He spent years and years taking photos of the seniors, the juniors, and everyone. I mean, he was fantastic in those days, and what he managed to do for us. So it's great to have him on board, you know, helping out, you know, sharing some of that valuable photographs. But he won't be the only one, as we all know. There's a lot of people with this kind of stuff, as well as, you know, I was just at my dad's house, as you know, last week, and we're going through some of the photos that he's got. You know, he's got some of the photos of when I started soccer as well. So yeah, you know, there's definitely a lot of things out there. Not just
and
photos,
have you come across like any nuggets at the moment, like any really, really rare kind of never before seen sort of footage or videos, photos or anything like that?
Yeah, look, I haven't been too involved with all the photos per se, but I have seen, you know, and I think I think the club might have published some of these photos, but Mickey C's jerseys that he's had over.
Oh yeah,
there's some of those have been, you know, have been worn decades ago, and it's just fantastic to see that kind of stuff. And I'm sure there's a lot more out there that we haven't seen, jerseys, jumpers, whatever it is. You know, and we're just hanging to to get people to come over and show us what they've got. And yeah, again, it'll be great to see us find some diamonds in the rough that we can sort of put into this book that we're creating.
And let's talk about that. How's it coming along? And is there any one person that's kind of like coordinating it, or is effectively the author of the book? Or is this sort of a collaborative effort by several people? And how are you kind of divvying up the different roles? I mean, someone has to be the chief and some of the Indians. How are you going about putting together all this?
Yeah, well, it's really being led by the ladies at the moment. So Stella and Miss Mumich, and yeah, they've collated some information about, at a high level what we want to do, but they've also engaged people like myself, Ilya Dragicevic and Mickey C to sort of start looking at how we can come up with a book that reads well and that has got the information that people want to see and read.
Yeah, now fantastic. I mean, it's mind-boggling, and if anyone thinks it's such an easy job, they've got no idea. It is one of the. I mean, it is. I mean, so over the years, speaking to people who have done some similar projects, I know Bernie Lustica took many years putting together a Canberra Croatia thing, and he's still working on one book now. Hajduk Split's Tour Down Under, and I know some of the people that worked up at Sydney United, their books and stuff like that. It is just a time-consuming job, but ultimately rewarding, of course. But there's just such a huge amount of material, and I guess Dinamo is a club like that for 50 years. There's so much that's happened over the years, and we're looking forward to it. I think Rosie said the book won't be out until later in the year to allow sufficient time to do it properly. Is that right?
Yeah, I think that's the best way to go about it. You don't want to rush something as big as this. It really needs to be done well. There's a hell of a lot of information that we still need to find. I was talking to Ivan Maric the other day over text and stuff like that, and he sent me through a list that he was working on over the years that I was aware of, and sort of asked him about that. So that list, has a lot of past presidents and secretaries, some treasurers, people that have come and gone, over the years. And that list is it's really mind-boggling who's on that list, really. So.
Wow, fantastic! I mean, I for one cannot wait. I love history. I love particularly history of our community, and it's such a rich history without a doubt. I guess that's it for the book, and it's going to be an ongoing thing. Oh, before we do forget or finish up about the book, has there been a date set for the next memorabilia appeal?
Look, I'm not familiar with the date as yet. I'd have to follow that up for you, Taunton.
Yep.
We've got a meeting tomorrow, so I'll find that out for you then.
Yeah, excellent. And the actual gala itself, the big gala, let's put that up on screen. There we go. All the information there. The 50th year anniversary gala night. So it's, folks, Saturday the 12th of July. It's the night of nights. It's the biggest night of the year at the Croatian Catholic Centre in Sunshine. It'll be hosted by Marijana Rudan and our very own Ante Smolic, and entertainment provided by Major Minor. We spoke of Mickey C, and Major Minor becomes such an integral part of the Croatian community, not just in Melbourne, but Australia-wide, but in particular our own club. And a special guest, Ivan Novosel from the Zaprešić boys, and just yesterday, they released a new song, Frižider pun piva, fridge full of beer, something a little bit different. So that's going to be something maybe Ivan might even get up on stage with Major Minor and do an impromptu performance. But that's going to be a fantastic night, Danny. It's going to be like a who's who of the club and the community, no doubt. How are things going with regards to the organisation side of things?
Yeah, it's definitely going to be one to remember. There's a lot of people helping out to make this a great event. with a big committee. So hopefully it's something that everyone enjoys, whoever turns up. But as you mentioned, there's already 450 tickets that have been sold so far, and they're going like hotcakes because people know this is going to be something amazing, and it's. You're going to also have special guests from Dinamo Zagreb that are going to come in, and they're going to. I believe there's going to be like a Q&A with them. Likes of Ivan Keleva, Bruno Franjic, Hrvoje Jukic, and the likes. They're all going to be there. Not helping out, but available for a bit of Q&A. And more to that, there's also going to be a few prizes that the committee are organising for patrons who are attending to win. So, I mean, it's a really cheap ticket price at $120. It includes a 3-course meal. When you consider the price of things these days, that's not that expensive. So, I dare to say, that this will be a sellout in a short, in a very short time. So please book your tickets ASAP to avoid missing out. The details are on the screen at the moment. So have a chat to, I think it's Lucy.
Lucy, we'll give the number. We'll give the number there for Lucy. So 0435 680 273. If it's fuzzy on the screen there, or you can't read it on the screen, once again, Lucy 0435 680 273, or Natalie on 0402 380 862. That's 0402 380 862. And as Danny said, it's pretty good value for money. I mean, I went to Aldi today and stocked up on some groceries. And I tell you what, I reckon it was 20% more expensive than it was this time last week. Bloody hell! But this ticket price has remained at $120, and it's not going up. But it certainly is going to be selling like hotcakes, that's for sure. So do get yourself a ticket as soon as possible. Now, Danny, you mentioned...
Westar Prestige is a proud family-owned second-generation business servicing Victorian motorists for more than 50 years. We are a specialist prestige collision repair facility situated in the western suburbs of Melbourne. However, we service all regions of Victoria, with many of our clients travelling not only from around Melbourne, but all of Victoria to use our services. We are also able to provide a digital platform for quoting clients' vehicles who are unable to personally attend our premises. We are an authorised manufacturer approved repair facility for Mercedes-Benz, Tesla, Peugeot and Suzuki, and are proud of our ongoing affiliation with these brands. We also work closely with several of Australia's largest insurance brands who entrust us to be a part of their preferred repairer network. Our client support staff are always happy to assist clients from the initial process of lodging claims through to the final stages of collection of the vehicle on completion of repairs and post-repair. So remember, for all your prestige collision repair needs, consider Westar Prestige, an award-winning, long-standing, Australian-owned business.
Possible. Now, Danny, you mentioned Ivan Keleva, and he'll be one of the 5 academy coaches for the camp a little bit later on this year. In that week, in fact, leading up to the gala, there it is. Dinamo comes to Melbourne from the 7th to the 11th of July 2025. It's a 5-day training camp. Food will be provided. It's for players aged from 8 to 18 years, boys and girls, led by the Dinamo Zagreb Academy coaches. So you'll get an insight into the Dinamo methodology. You'll get camp training kits and an official diploma of recognition. There'll be interactive workshops, the like. So that will be held during the second Term 2 holidays. But Ivan Keleva, former Melbourne Victory goalkeeper, very well known at our club. Well, on the weekend, he's going to be the goalkeeper academy coach, folks. He's a regular presenter on the football program in Croatia, and he was co-hosting one of the games in a live football. Well, this is what almost happened. The presenter, she almost had a rather major mishap, But then in stepped a superhero by the name of Ivan Kelava. Folks, take a look at this bit of footage.
Najbolji pokazatelj i primjer je da to ne bi trebalo biti apsolutno nikakvo opravdanje nikom. Da,
uvijek može gore.
Well, there you go. That is the goalkeeper, the specialist goalkeeper coach for our academy. Folks, any goalkeepers out there who decide to sign up for the Dinamo Zagreb camp in July, you are in good hands. Pardon the pun, but that was fantastic bit of reflex goalkeeping action there by Kelava, by Ivan, the big evil. And we'll put that screenshot back on. Danny, it's going to be unbelievable. Apparently, more than 100 tickets sold already for this.
Yeah, that's correct, mate. Definitely, it's definitely going to be a one for the kids to get involved. Yes, and you're correct. I think there's over 100 tickets already sold, or over 100 people already that will be attending it.
Yep.
Yeah, when you've got the likes of Ivan Kelava, Bruno Franjic, Hrvoje Jukic, and the likes, they're all part of the Dinamo Zagreb football youth development, and
yep.
You're not going to get that kind of coaching anywhere, really. I mean, it's an opportunity for people to see what it's like to be coached by, a club like Dinamo Zagreb, who is renowned for the youth development. And I've seen it in the past. There's always, Europe, Europe always talks about how good Dinamo Zagreb's development is, and it's always in the top 3 within Europe in terms of development of players. So to be able to be coached by their coaching staff and strength and conditioning staff and the likes, it's going to be second to none, really.
Yeah, and the thing that strikes me about, look, anywhere in Croatia, but let's talk about Dinamo Zagreb for now, is I mean, they're all professional coaches. This is their livelihood. So they're constantly undergoing training, retraining, all of that. But here in Australia, you finish a course, a weekend course, or you finish a C license course, A license course, B license, whatever the case may be. It's all done part-time though. Over there, they actually complete university degrees. So they've actually completed university degrees in football coaching. So, and then on top of that, they complete their certificates and what you're not UEFA coaching licenses. So these people are the utmost professionals in everything that they do. So for our kids here in Australia to get exposed to that level of knowledge, experience, know-how is just going to be incredible. And it's $500 per child, which over the 5 days is basically $100 per day. When you think about this, lunch is provided as well. 1.5 hours at least training session per day, plus an educational session of at least an hour. There's the details there to register. Complete the jot form. You can also go onto our Facebook page and click on the link if it's easier to do that. But it's just going to be an incredible an experience. And look, the bonus is that maybe some lucky kid or kids will be invited to attend the Dinamo Zagreb Academy training sessions in Zagreb. And geez, which kid would not want that?
Yeah, 100%, Tonchi. And you really hit the nail on the head. It's going to be something different, something that the kids wouldn't want to miss, to be honest. It's a once in a lifetime opportunity with this caliber of coaching staff. Yeah. It's just going to be fantastic. And as you said, yeah. Hopefully someone does get the call up and get the experience overseas as well. It'd be fantastic.
Yeah. Now it has to be noted as well that it's not just exclusively for St Albans Dinamo juniors. Yes, they've been given an opportunity firsthand, but it is open to any kids outside of the Dinamo, St Albans Dinamo family, and indeed for other members of the Croatian community here in Victoria. And I believe there are kids from interstate coming down as well to be a part of this. So there's a lot of interest. And before we let you go, Danny, I guess one thing we forgot to talk about with the book, with the history, the history and the history of the club is something that your father last week spoke about. In recent times, we've had a lot of people passing away, people that were heavily involved, and he particularly spoke about pokojni Ivan Pintaric. There's a death notice of pokojni Pintaric. It's almost like every week there's someone passing away who was actively involved with the club. Their story goes with them, and this is how important a book such as what we're working on at Dinamo is, to capture the stories, capture some of those characters that, you know what, they've either gone or are on the way out, and it's something that's really important to keep for generations to come, isn't it?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, yeah, as you mentioned there, you showed Ivan Pitaric, and yeah, he was actually one of my coaches. When I was 8 or 9 years old. I mean, so that's how long I've known him and his family for. And as my dad said, he's been a cornerstone of the club. He's done a lot of different jobs and stuff like that around Dinamo. And he's not the only one. You've had Mr. Listic passed away a few years ago as well. He was an ex-president. Peter Kresic as well. There's been a few that have gone that have been presidents or significant members. In the committees, and done a lot for the club over the last handful of years. Really, it hasn't been that long between drinks. So unfortunately, but that's the life. It is, and everything comes to an end, doesn't it?
It does, and I guess that's one way of keeping their memories, their contributions to the club, their legacy alive. And I guess that's when they first 50 years ago, when all those gentlemen decided to form a football club. I guess they never in their wildest dreams thought that the club would evolve into what it has evolved into now. But I guess we, the current generation, owe it to them to really, I guess, pay tribute to them and to document all of those stories and document some of those highs and lows, I guess. And that's what we're doing, I guess, with this book. So, Danny, congratulations and well done on everything that you guys have done so far, but also thank you. And we really appreciate everything that you will be doing. And I guess we've only gone one part of the journey, haven't we?
Yeah, that's it. Thanks a lot for that. And I mean, it's been a pleasure to be on your show, and keep up the good work as well, mate. Thanks.
Good on you. Danny Jutriša, former president, and like his father, I think there isn't a role that he hasn't done at the club and continues to do so. One of many, many amazing and incredible individuals at Churchill Reserve, that's for sure. Folks, we're going to take a short break, and when we return, we will continue with tonight's episode of DinamoTV. Folks, don't go away. Welcome back to DinamoTV, folks. We hope you're enjoying tonight's show. Now, for something a little bit different, Dinamo is very much a community club. We know that. And it's a soccer club, a football club, however you want to call it. But we're also involved in other parts of the community, namely the Croatian community, but also the wider community as well. And we support a number of various initiatives, various organisations, and various sports people. And one of those is coming up next as our very, very special guest. It's an absolute pleasure to welcome to the show. She's the Australian karate world champion, in fact, Alessandra Dessar. Alessandra, how are you? And welcome to DinamoTV. How are you going?
Hello, I'm good, thank you. I'm fabulous and excited to be on. Thank you guys so much.
Yeah, well, absolute pleasure having you on the show. Now, Alessandra, you've taken the World Championship by storm. This was last year in Japan. There's a couple of photos there. Tell us a little bit about your experiences there. How was it?
It was amazing in Japan. Leading up to the fight, I was really nervous for it. But knowing that we trained really hard leading up to it
Yep,
made me less worried about it. And I remember walking on to the tatami for the first time for my first fight. All the nerves and everything went away as soon as the fight started. And then after that, I was in focused mode and I had a plan to go there and win. And I came back with the win, and it was an amazing feeling.
yeah, awesome, awesome. And you were 18 at the time, so you just turned 19 the other day. So
I
happy
did.
birthday for that.
Thank you so much.
Now, on the weekend, you had another event that it was an Australia versus Japan challenge match. Tell us a little bit about that.
Um, so my teacher, Shihan Judd Reed, he holds a Australia versus Japan fight.
Yep,
Like he's been doing it for about 4 years now. And today, not today, sorry, on Saturday, I versed the All Japan champion,
yep,
Mizuki. And that was a hard and really strong fight from both of us, actually.
yep.
I was so happy that I pulled it off with a win. And yeah, she was a really tough fighter, but I overcame her and did really well.
Yeah, fantastic. Good on you, and some great footage there, or great some photos there as well. Yeah. Now tell us. Now you train. You've got a pretty full on training regime. Sometimes training what up to 6 days a week. Is that right? Like, tell
Yeah.
us a little bit about a typical training week for you.
So, okay, we'll start on Monday. Mondays, I have karate classes.
Hmm.
Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays are all the same. So I start there, start at like 5 o'clock, and I help teach the
Yep.
kids classes, and then I train myself in the adults class around 7 o'clock, and that
Yep.
goes for an hour. And then on Tuesdays and Thursdays, I have kickboxes that go through 45 minutes to an hour. But then also days I do a morning session as well for about an hour. So that's Tuesdays and Thursdays. And then on Saturdays, I help out with the kids in the morning. And then straight after that, I have another kickbox. And
Wow.
that's a full
Yeah.
week of.
Yeah, so you really, really have to be very, very motivated, very disciplined, I guess. Now, we're going to kind of ask you for a little bit of advice for anyone watching, any of the young footballers at St Albans Dynamo who dream of being the best in their field. Um,
Mhm.
Days when you don't feel like training, days when you feel like, oh, I'd rather be, in front of the TV watching YouTube or playing, games or something like that. How do you motivate yourself, to get up off the couch or out of bed and hit the training track?
Mhm. I just think to myself, I know look, at the moment I'm feeling so lazy, don't want to go. But I know for a fact after the training session, I'm going to
Hmm.
feel so much better. I'm going to feel more energized and I'm going to be more proud of myself for going and showing up to train.
Yeah, yeah. And I mean, obviously, it's not just training. You do have to rest, I guess, recuperate and all of that. What do you do in your spare time just to take your mind off things, take your mind off training or upcoming bouts, etc.? What's your kind of your method of relaxation?
I listen to music. Most of the time, I stay in bed just do nothing, watch some Netflix,
Yep.
to be honest. Then that's about it. Sometimes go for a walk, do some reading. That's about it. Yeah.
Now, you're 19, so as a typical 19-year-old, I guess, probably socializing is one of the most important things and just hanging out with friends. Do you get a chance to be just a normal, typical 19-year-old, or is it, you want to be the best, you're a world champion, you have to sacrifice certain things?
Definitely, I have to sacrifice a lot of things. One of them is not being able to spend most times with my friends, and they all understand. I've told them many years ago that this is what I want to pursue and do big things, and they totally understand. They are supportive of me, and yeah, so I talk to them whenever I can, but most of the time it's all focused on training and everything else. Yeah.
And what about from your point of view? Do you kind of, when you do get that chance, not obviously regularly, but when you do get the chance to finally catch up with family or friends, or, in an informal type of setting, do you kind of enjoy it twice as much as you would if you just sort of caught up with them every day after school, so to speak, and things like that?
Yes, those times I have to soak in so much longer. No, I won't be able to see them after more often.
Yep.
So I do soak it in a lot.
Now, we talked about you having downtime, or I guess having a sort of time away from training and away from match or tournament preparation. But away from all that, you also study, and you don't just study anything. You study law at Victoria University. Goodness me, how do you fit it all in? How do you fit it all in?
So I go into school about 2 times a week, and then I also
Yep.
have an online class. So I just have to shuffle everything around, make time for school, make time for training as well, and then also find time to study out of school and in between training. It's kind of, I just have to play see how time goes and everything, but I find a way to make it all work, and it's all going really good.
Do you think the discipline required in training karate and getting to the point that you are a world champion has helped you discipline yourself for studying?
Yes, not only studying and in everything in my life. Also, it's helped me with confidence, because when I was small, I was such a shy girl who wouldn't talk to anyone, or my dad would have to make friends for me because I was just too scared to talk to anyone around me. So
Yep.
now I've gained more confidence, making new friends, going out of my way to try and talk to new people, and yeah.
Awesome. That's absolutely fantastic. Now, you started karate at a very, very young age, when you were, in fact, 6 years of age. And tell us, how did you fall into the sport initially?
So it's a really funny story. My dad, he was on his way back from work and he caught a lift from his friend. And his friend was like, "Oh, I need to stop at this karate place real quick." And my dad was like, "Yeah, that's fine." So they stopped over, and there was a salesperson selling karate memberships.
Mm-hmm.
My dad was just hooked on straight away. And instead of writing his name down and his info, he put my info down. And then when he picked up my brother and I from my grandma's house, and then he
Mm-hmm.
was like, "Oh, Ellie, I signed you up for a karate class. Like, isn't that fun?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, that's really cool." And that's how I started getting into it. I went to my first class, and it became 2 classes a week, and then so on from there.
When did you realize you really loved the sport and you wanted to take it seriously and not just something for recreational purposes?
Probably after my first few tournaments.
Hmm.
I wasn't doing the best, but I was still really into it. And
Hmm.
then after a few years, my fighting got so much better. And then I started coming out with gold medals, silver medals, and like more like trophies and stuff like that. And I was like, oh, like I'm doing so well. Let's see what the future has in store for me and where I can go with all of this. And yeah,
Very interesting. There you go. Well, thank you so much for joining us here on Dinamo TV. And finally, I guess, what's your connection with the club? How did you first kind of get involved, like with the club, and the club involved with supporting and sponsoring you?
so Bosco had a big part in it.
Hmm.
And he connected everyone together with my dad and everyone from Dynamo Soccer Club. And they are financially sponsoring me, helping me get to where I want to be and helping me support my goals and my ambitions. And I am really, really thankful for them. And they're supporting young Australians like myself. And
Yep.
it's so amazing.
Awesome. Well, we're very, very happy and very proud to be backing a world champion in our very, very own neighbourhood. And so, all the very best to you. Thank you for joining us, Alessandra, and all the very best for your next competition, which I think is end of May. And you're going back to Japan for what, the World Championships? Is that right?
Yes, but actually, I forgot before that, at the end of this year, on the 27th, I have the Victorian Opens
All
again.
right. End of this month, is it?
End of this month, yes.
End of this month. So the Victorian Opens and then the World Champs in Tokyo in May. Geez, you're going to have a very big, very busy schedule. We wish you all the best.
Thank you so much.
Good on you. Alessandra Dessar, a very, very intelligent young lady, very talented young lady. We might have to get her involved with our senior women's team and maybe even take a couple of karate training sessions and really get that aggression up. Or even our senior men's team for that matter. Folks, you're watching Dinamo TV. We're going to take a short break, and when we return, it'll be time to wrap up tonight's episode. Thank you for watching Dinamo TV. Welcome back to Dinamo TV. And I guess that brings us to the end of our episode 50 of our weekly podcast. Thank you for being with us tonight. We'll be back next Wednesday night at the usual time of 8 p.m. Until then, have a great weekend. Hope all the Dinamo teams win and enjoy the rest of this week. Bye-bye.